The message came in at 11:43 p.m. Not urgent, not loud, just heavy. From next month, either watch the girls full-time or pay market rent, $1,700. No more family discounts. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, listening to my nieces breathe through the wall. Soft, uneven, childhood sleep, trusting sleep. The apartment smelled like formula and microwave dinners. Sacrifice disguised as togetherness. I stared at the screen until the words stopped looking like letters and started looking like a threat. Family discount, that's what they called it. I paid on time, I cleaned, I gave up weekends, I adjusted my work schedule, I became invisible when it suited them and essential when it didn't. And now this. Watch the girls or pay full rent. Like love was a line item. Like blood could be invoiced. I didn't reply. I locked the phone and let the silence stretch. Let it press against my ribs until something inside me hardened. Through the thin wall, I heard my sister laugh softly in her sleep. Carefree, unbothered. They had already decided. What they didn't know, what they couldn't imagine, was that I had been counting exits for months. This message didn't scare me. It clarified everything. They told everyone I was lucky. Cheap rent, they said. Help with the kids, they said. Family sticks together. What they didn't say was how the help only moved in one direction. I paid rent for a room barely big enough to breathe in. I bought groceries I never finished because I worked late. I canceled dates, missed opportunities, turned down promotions that required travel, because someone had to pick up the girls, because someone had to stay home when daycare fell through, and somehow that someone was always me. At first, I told myself it was temporary. Then I noticed patterns. My sister's night shifts that didn't align with her pay stubs. Her husband's sudden freelance income that never showed up in the bank. The landlord's name that didn't match the mail. I asked once, casually, who actually owned the place. My sister smiled too fast. Why? She asked. I shrugged. Just curious. That was when the air changed. From then on, conversations stopped mid-sentence when I walked in. Rent receipts came later. Rules appeared without discussion. And now, the ultimatum. Watch the kids or pay full rent. As if I hadn't already been paying in pieces of my life. Something about that number, $1,700, nagged at me. Too clean, too rehearsed. I lay back on the bed, eyes open, listening to the apartment breathe. Family doesn't threaten you with numbers. Landlords do. I didn't argue. That's the part people get wrong. I smiled. I nodded. I said, let me think about it. And then I started listening. I checked the lease when no one was home, a copy tucked into a kitchen drawer, folded too neatly to be touched often. The rent listed wasn't $1,700. It was $1,050, utilities included. My name wasn't on it. Neither was theirs. The apartment was part of a housing assistance program, income capped, no subletting allowed, which meant two things. They were lying to me, and they were breaking the law. I pulled bank statements, compared dates, did the math. I wasn't getting a discount. I was paying their rent. Watching their kids was never the trade. It was the expectation. I thought about every time they told me, we'd be lost without you. They weren't grateful. They were dependent. And desperate people don't loosen their grip. They tighten it. I kept playing my role. Woke the girls, packed lunches, paid rent early. I watched my sister scroll her phone while I cleaned up spilled cereal. Watched her husband complain about stress while booking a weekend trip they said they couldn't afford. At night, I searched quietly. Tenant laws, fraud penalties, program violations. I printed nothing, saved everything. And when the new month approached, I didn't negotiate. I planned. The email arrived on a Tuesday morning. Confirmation from the housing authority. The unit was registered to a single occupant, my sister. Declared income far below reality. Unreported adult resident. Unauthorized payments. I closed my laptop slowly. The girls were coloring at the table, tongues between their teeth, focused, innocent. I knelt and kissed their heads. "I'll see you later," I said. That night I packed one bag. Not rushed, not angry, precise. At 3:17 a.m., I sent 3 emails. One to the landlord, one to the housing office, one to my sister. Attached documents, bank records, lease copies. Subject line, clarification. Then I left. No goodbye note, no confrontation. I locked the door softly behind me and walked into the dark like I'd been practicing for it my whole life. My phone exploded at 6:42 a.m. Calls, messages, voicemails stacked like debris. I didn't answer. I imagined it instead. The knock at the door, the questions, the confusion. My sister's voice rising, her husband's silence. The realization that the leverage they thought they had was never theirs. By noon, the messages changed tone. Fear replaced anger. Panic replaced threats. "Please call. We can fix this. You didn't have to do this." Didn't have to. I checked into a hotel and ordered breakfast. Ate slowly, peacefully. They lost the apartment, lost the subsidy, lost the story they told about me. They had to explain why the free help disappeared overnight, and for the first time, they couldn't control the narrative. I never responded. Silence is devastating when you've built power on access. People think revenge is loud. It isn't. It's administrative, documented, final. I miss my nieces sometimes, not in a way that hurts, just in a way that reminds me I was human in a place that treated me like a resource. I didn't destroy my family. I stopped subsidizing their lies. They wanted rent. They got reality. I didn't leave angry. I left awake. And the last thing I learned, the truth that stays with me, is that walking away quietly is the most violent thing you can do to people who only value you when you stay.